Welcome to Business Done Different. This webinar is an intro to Business Done Different and what is business for you, for each of you. Anyone wants to go? What is business for you? Harish, what's business for you?
Blood running through your veins.
Awesome. How does it get better than that? So true, because you're in the business of your life. Each one of you is in the business of your life. And that is one of the first businesses we are actually running. Who told us that business meant, you have to register a company, you have to have a website, you have to do this, and then it's a business. Anybody knows that? I've heard people say, so I haven't launched my business yet because I don't have my website ready. Really? Your roadside kirana shop, the neighborhood shop, they don't have a website. People just come. If you're willing to be visible, what if you could have your business? What else? What else? What is your idea of business? Welcome, Samyukta. What is business for you? What is business for you?
Business is creativity. Business is about choosing more for yourself and being a contribution to others.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
So you can have products, you can have services, you have something where you are providing to some part of the world.
Yes.
The greatest of creations are of not much use unless it goes out to someone else. And what if it could change somebody's life? What if it could contribute to someone? What if your business was such that people could just pick up a phone and call you and say, hey, I'm interested in your product. I'm interested in your services. What if people could just walk in the door anytime to pick up your products and services? What if you didn't need hard work? Hard work is one of the biggest myths in business. Who's heard about that one? Do hard work for the business. Let's talk about myths in business. What are some myths each of you knows with respect to business?
Business is risky, business is stressful, business is not safe, business is topsy-turvy, it has got ups and downs. Like, the way it's said in Hindi, business mein to ye sab laga hi rehta hai types, especially coming from a service background, and so on and so forth.
Yes, so true, so true. So many of that we have heard. Business has ups and downs.
It is very risky.
Very risky. Definitely, especially if you come from a background where people in your company, in your family are predominantly employed, then business is a wrongness. They would not suggest, please don't go into business. It's very risky. Why don't you just stay in this well-paying job? Even if you're not working also, it's fine because at least you're not spending money on a business. That is how risk-averse some people are. Yes, Samyukta.
So I've heard that we don't have business in our DNA. So because I'm the first person who's doing business in my family, and I keep hearing this so many times, and also it takes 5 to 10 years for business to take off. So I've been buying that. I've been seeing it now that these are myths. Yeah, I just wanted to share that.
So true, so true. Business is not in our DNA, so don't do business. And I've seen the opposite also, where there are families where people are predominantly into business, and if one person chooses to work, it's such a wrongness because why would you want to go to a job? Why do you want to go abroad? You can just be in the family business. Why would you choose this? So people hate change. If there's a family business going on, people want them to join in the family business. If there predominantly employment going on in a family, people don't want to encourage others to get into business. What if business was not a wrongness? Where did we make business wrong? What if you don't need something in your DNA? What is that? What if you could just be that? You can change your DNA. What if you could just be a change in your DNA? Even those who are in employment, they very often are in roles where there are deliverables for that department. Ask any department head, ask a sales head. Continuously, that person is in business. Even if you're then not a sales head, any salesperson is in business. Any project manager is in business. Every project manager is in business. Why? They got to run the project to deliver it. That is a business. And then when this project finishes, a new project comes up, they're again looking at how to deliver the next project. So for a delivery is in business. Since we are predominantly like in the IT world, you hear so many people from, the IT world who are in professions, each one of them is in business from top to bottom. Why? Because a person who is coding, who is at entry level, even he is in the business of creating that code. And like one of you shared earlier, what if business is like the blood running in your veins? What if you're in business? When you start going to school, you're in business. You're getting your assignments done. Those are the business of your life. Getting a meal ready, eating a meal, even that is business. Taking care of your body, the business of your life. Where did we decide about the definitions of business which are actually limiting each one of us? Yes, Shubhra.
So, a doctor cannot do business. I mean, life is business. If blood is running through your veins, then you are in business called life. But we can't do business. I mean, the point of view, interesting point of view, and yeah. That is one thing which is like kind of looked down upon. And somewhere, second thing is business is like Gujarati say, no, khato dhando. Like it has to be associated with money somewhere. So वो एक point of view है, like what is this business done different? Then I'm like very, very curious to know.
Awesome question. What is business done different? What if each one of you could create a business with ease? What if the business of your life could be created in a whole different way? To make it greater ease, greater fun for you. For me personally, I'm from the IT field. I was a computer engineer, computer science engineer, and I worked in the IT field, and I was a program manager in a multinational company when I quit. And I said, okay, I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'll see later. In 6 months' time, Access actually changed my life and living so in such a great way. And I was so grateful for that change at that time. I had been having a lot of aches and pains, and I was fed up, and I really wanted something to change in my body. And this helped me with a lot of ease, without effort. Within another few months, I chose to actually start facilitating sessions for people. People just showed up. I didn't put in any effort. People showed up. I did the sessions for them. Things started changing in their lives. Through referrals, more people came, and some more referrals, more people came. And I, used to tell people when I used to speak that, hey, let me know if you need anything to change your life, if something would be a contribution. And people would just choose the sessions. Another few months down the line, I chose to facilitate and conduct the Access Bars class. So that was a new beginning for me at that time. Another few months later, when I checked my accounts, I was surprised to note that I was getting 50 to 60% of what I had been earning in my previous job. I was very surprised. Honestly, these tools just slid me into being a business person from an employee. I didn't even notice the difference. There was no significance in my life. And one of the biggest benefits I had was I had no expectations of myself, and nobody had any expectations of me. And I'm so grateful for that period, because I had no expectations of me, and because nobody else had any expectations of what I was doing, it was actually easier for me. Each one of you is very aware, whether people tell you or not, you are very aware of judgment of other people and how they will label you as a successful business person or an unsuccessful business person. Why are you wasting your time? What are you doing? You're a doctor, you shouldn't be doing all these other things. And then you should not be doing a business, like, Shubhra was sharing so many things, so many judgments in different ways. Oh, but our family DNA does not include business. So why would you do that? What if you had the business gene? What if each one of you had the business gene within you just by you choosing it? And then I said, hey, I'm already getting 50 to 60% of what I used to earn. That is so cool. Now let me use these tools cognitively. I was just being those tools without the effort. And that made a huge, huge difference to me. So this Business Done Different workshop is to help you change who you be into who you could be, where there is a place of possibilities. Sometimes we are being trauma and drama, which keeps away business, which keeps away clients. So those are places where something could change and new possibilities could open up for you. Now, the question is, do you want to do this through effort or through ease and joy? And this workshop offers that possibility for people where they could choose greater ease, greater joy in whichever business they choose. There's no such thing as this is the right profession, that is the right business, this is the wrong business. Even when people are not in a business as it is defined in this reality, supposing they're working as a professor in a college, let's say, they're still in business. If you have multiple revenue streams, definitely you're in business. So apart from the business of your life, you have businesses like your fixed deposits, managing that, the property you may purchase, the rental income from properties, royalties on books you might have written, so many options. Selling of, maybe a person has a hobby. They sell handicrafts made by artisans. I know a person like that. So on weekends and sometimes when she's free, she just sells specific artisans handicrafts. That's a revenue stream for her, apart from the job she has. And she has a lot of fun with that. She just loves doing it. One is it keeps her in touch with the artisans and the products they're creating. And the other is she's in touch with a lot of friends who pick up these products from her. They're great gift items too for people. So when it's fun for you, it's actually easier to be in business too. So this workshop will, actually gift each person a zillion tools on how we could create a greater business. How could we create a business of greater ease, greater joy without the effort? What if effort itself is a myth? What if you didn't have to do effort to keep your business growing? So what efforts do each one of you choose with business? What if you could just bundle it all up and give it up right now? What if that was possible? And that is something we also use the access tools in this workshop. There's a manual, there's an amazing manual. It has absolutely the latest clearings in the manual. I so love the Joy of Business manual for that reason. The Business Done Different manual is part of a specialty called Joy of Business. This was started by Simone Milasas, and the tools are just amazing. She came up with the title Joy of Business, which was so contrary to how people think of business. People think business has to be a serious thing. And that is one of the essences of the Business Done Different workshop too. Where have you decided your business had to be done with seriousness? Whether it's the business of being a parent, whether it's a business of being a college professor, whether it's a business of being a teacher, whether it's a business where you are generating revenues and providing products and services to the world. So if you have a fixed deposit, a savings deposit, you're already in business. You have two revenue streams there. They both generate some interest for you. And they actually generate business for you when you're sleeping, by the way. And that's one of the businesses that generates money for you without the effort. What if you could include more revenue streams and allow yourself to be a natural at business? You know, I was getting the renovation done of this house where I'm living now. I moved in here about a year ago. There were a lot of times when it was so difficult to manage the vendors and the deliverables. Everyone was, you know, on their own chartered plane, that they would go wherever they wanted, whenever they wanted, and they would show up sometimes at the site. And the site was quite far away from the place I used to live in earlier. So it was sometimes not easy to get the renovation done, to get the vendors to show up at site, and to create the house the way it could contribute to us. So these tools of Business Done Different were an amazing contribution to me, even in managing those vendors and in creating the renovation of this house. So it's crazy how these tools can be used. You don't have to be in a formal business, as this reality calls it. What else? Anyone have any questions about this workshop? By the way, for those who are access facilitators, this course is also a renewal course prerequisite. It forms one of the several prerequisites available for people to renew their license for access facelift, access bars facilitators, and I think body process facilitators. So for a few facilitators, I'm not sure of the exact ones, but definitely for the access bars facilitator renewal, this is included. And one of the reasons it's included is these tools of creating a greater business are actually a contribution also to facilitators who would like to generate greater revenues, coaches, trainers who would like to have more clients with greater ease. So in case anyone is interested, you can let them know that this is also available. What else? Any questions?
This class is also prerequisite for CF also.
Yes, it is also a prerequisite for CF renewals. Yes, you're right. The Business Done Different workshop. It's really business done different. What if we didn't have to use traditional methods of doing business? What if you didn't have to have rigid rules around business? These rigid rules actually bring down our energies. So about, I think, about a year and a half after I started Access, I was telling my husband, hey, I'm going to the other city to attend a workshop. And he said, oh my God, aren't you spending so much on these other workshops that you're attending and things like that? And that was totally my choice that I was choosing to attend that workshop. It was not a prerequisite. I was just doing it out of choice. So I said, I was listening quietly. And after some time, I said, yeah, if we think it's expensive, it is expensive. And then he said, oh, but you're spending so much and whatever. So I said, you know what? Whatever I have spent till date, I have already recovered it. So he looked at me very strangely. He said, how is that possible? I said, whatever I've spent so far in all the workshops I've attended, I've recovered everything. In fact, even there was a considerable amount of money, like I'm talking about 10 years ago. So I had spent like 1.5 lakhs to redo my terrace, which works out to how many? About almost 2,000 US dollars about 10 years ago. And I had already recovered that in that year. And he was like, how is it possible? How can you break even in a year? I said, why? Why would I not be able to break even in a year? He said, no, it's proven statistically that it takes 3 years for a business to break even. I was quiet for a second and then I said, I'm so sorry I didn't listen to that role and I didn't know about it. I'm so glad that, I didn't have to work around that at all because that was not in my reality. And he said, no, it's proven that it takes 3 years. I said, if you want, I can show you my accounts. And I actually had an app on the mobile phone that used to track my accounts, which was a big joke for all the other business entrepreneurs who, joined classes conducted by me earlier. I would show them this app that on my phone that used to help me track the inflow and the outflow. And they used to laugh their head off and say, actually, you use an app like this to track. That is business done different because I had no rules and regulations that I had to have an accountant and somebody else must do all this for me. And I cannot manage this. I cannot manage. I didn't have a point of view. So business done different is also about busting all your myths about yourself to take you to a greater space where you could have more joy and more fun with your business. So, what other questions? Tell me, what are some difficulties you're all having in your businesses? Let's look at that. You can post it on the chat window or you can speak, both. I think one of you has an echo going on. Just mute yourselves, please. Okay, so who wants to go? You want to type on the window or chat window or speak? What is one business issue that you have in your life, in the business of your life? Or, yes, go ahead, Samyukta. Yes, I can hear you briefly, not very well though. No. It's not clear. You'll have to log out and log in again, I think. Anyone else would like to go? Anybody else would like to ask a question? Or what's a business issue that you have seen other people dealing with? If you have no problems in the business of your life and the businesses you're conducting, what is a business issue that you have seen other people deal with? You want to go again and try speaking? Let's see if it's changed now. Yeah, still not too good. Go ahead. Let's see. No, it's coming garbled. The minute you speak full sentences, it comes garbled. So just type it in and I'll see. I'll read it and see what is possible. Okay. Go ahead. Anyone else who's heard of other people dealing with some challenges in business? Consistent income. Okay. Consistent income. What if that's a myth? What if you don't have to have consistent income? Where were you taught that? How boring it would be. Every day you get up, same things occurred every day, supposing, and then the next day, same things occurred, and then you have a predictable day every day. And that's how you can have a predictable income and a consistent income. If your day is very predictable, what if you don't need consistent income? What if there are some months you just gallop and there is so much revenue, and there are some months which are not as galloping with revenues? And what if you could keep some money aside? What if you could be willing to have money? Some people spend whatever they get or spend more than what they get. What if consistent income is not required? What if you could manage your money so well, so easily, that you had, even for those rainy days, as well as the days it was raining, with lots of money, and the non-rainy days too. Okay, so what if you could create that for yourself? Another thing people look for is consistent flow of clients. How many of you look forward to that? I need a consistent flow of clients. Oh my God, I have free time. It's such a wrongness. Many people have that. Many people have that. I don't have any client appointments today. Something is wrong. It's 1 week. Everybody is busy because it's festival or it's New Year's or whatever thing. And so no client meetings. What if that's the amazing time you can spend with family? What if that is a time you can just sleep and catch up with some rest for your body? What if that's the time you could paint pictures, listen to songs, dance, do whatever? What if there is no such thing as a downtime? What if it's not a wrongness? I love the unpredictable days I have. I hate predictable days. I just die of boredom. If 2 days are similar, I think I would die of boredom in the second day itself. I'm so glad my days are not predictable. Negotiation in business is not fun, and losing clients, hold on, there's one feedback, and losing clients or business because of the competitive price is a constant struggle. Okay, I get this. These are things we will be talking in the workshop. It would be very peripheral if I spoke about it here. So I'm not going to, talk about it here. Negotiation. I'll talk a little bit about negotiation. What if negotiation, even when people do street shopping, people negotiate just for the fun of negotiation. And so people love to negotiate. I also have people who ask me sometimes, can you give me a discount? I'm like, sorry, we can't discount our workshops. Would people like it if we discounted, or what they got was a discount off a workshop? That means they did not get the full benefits. That would not help anyone. So then they're like, oh my God, but I wish I could get a discount, because the mentality is such, they've been brought up saying, hey, you must reduce the prices. Then you have won. What if there's no such thing as a win or a lose? In our head, when we program ourselves to say, hey, this is a win, that's a loss, that is the problem that we have to deal with, actually. So what if negotiation can be fun too? And ask that question, be in that question, and let us see what else we can create with that. Actually, I love negotiation. I love negotiating on many. I don't negotiate with my tailor. He hates negotiation. So I don't talk to him about that. But there are some people I know they like it. They want me to ask them, hey, can you give me a discount? Then I ask. I go as per the energy. And then I'm laughing inside. And actually, it doesn't matter to me whether they're going to reduce at all or not at all. What if that topic was not a wrongness? What if we could create ease around that topic where we could have an amazing amount of fun? And even when people ask me if I can give a discount, I don't have a point of view about it. If they have a strong point of view, I tell them, hey, you know what? Session prices are different. Each facilitator has a different session price. If you want, I can give you the details of another facilitator you can go to. Maybe they will charge less. I just offer that to them. It's their choice to choose it. Yes, Palan.
I just remember a very funny incident. I was buying something and then I casually asked the shopkeeper some discount. So he looked at me and says, what, madam? You can actually give a little more. That's it. And he was very cute boy. So while settling the bill, and as I was doing like a UPI transaction, I actually added money and walked out. And then he looked at me and said, you gave me extra money. I said, you asked for it, I gave it to you. He was so puzzled. But the joy on his face was so, like, it was so nice that I just wished him happy Diwali and walked out.
So true, so true. I totally get what you're saying. It's actually a lot of fun for us to contribute from the space of contributing.
Yeah, but one negotiation, which is business of my life, is feeding my son, which I don't enjoy negotiating at all. And I literally, when you were saying what is business, and I was like, yeah, parenting is a business. Like once you commit, you can't get.
Yes, I agree with that one. And ask how much fun could you have with this? Could I have with this? So my daughter used to be a fussy eater, or not a fussy eater. She was a slow eater. She would take a very long time and she would munch and then she would not even open her mouth for a few minutes. And then she would again open her mouth and take in a little and then she would keep munching for a long time. And I couldn't give her the next spoonful of food because she still has food in her mouth. So her meals used to take an hour and I really used to get irritable until I found a workaround for that. I used to eat first and then I was so patient with her. I was like, wow, this is so amazing. And my mother dropped in one day when I was feeding my daughter and she said, what are you up to? As a mother, how can you eat before your child? I was like, Mom, actually, we have much more fun after I've started eating before her. I take 5 minutes to have my dinner. She takes 1 hour. I'm so irritable and angry by the time she finishes. I'm of no use to my daughter. Now, when I eat in 5 minutes, I am willing to spend the next 1 hour happily playing different games with her, and I'm willing to allow her to eat too. So, what if it's a myth that you have to be hungry as a parent when you feed your child? So, in every business, there are so many myths that we have been, told that we are living with those rules and creating so much difficulty for ourselves.
Absolutely. I mean, probably a year back, if you would have asked me what is business, I would have had so many.
So true, so true. Deepa has commented from a hangry mom to a happy mom. That's true, actually. What if there are workarounds for so many of our so-called business issues? What if these are myths that you could create around this with so much of ease? What if we didn't have to overcome every problem? What if we could work around problems? Overcome is where you have to go, head-on collision with each of the problem, bang it out of existence. What if you could just let that be and work around it so that it creates greater for you? Lisa, now you have any questions?
I just want to say an interesting point of view. So I also from a typical, working background. I was with Infosys for a long time, and I left and I ran a school, all that. So I started, during the Corona time, I started cooking after my mom passed away, and I was quite successful, okay, just out of the blue. But the whole conversation that you have to be shrewd to be successful in business, and because we don't have any business people in our family, and that is so strong in my world that I'm like, oh, I'm just struggling. There's a lot of customers, people love my food, I love cooking, but over a period of time, I'm thinking, is it just all hard work and am I not making any money? So I kind of slowed, or I stopped cooking whatsoever. I still have at least 25 to 30 people asking me, when will you start cooking? When will you start cooking? But all I see is, what's the point? Only shrewd people make money. And second, it's a lot of hard work. So I'd rather spend time with my children at school, So I just thought of that, when this is my myth is that business is meant for shrewd people, not for straight, straight or whatever, straight and innocent ones. And it's way too much of hard work. So yeah, that's my interesting point of view.
So is it fun for you, the catering
Cooking is
business?
definitely fun. Yeah, I loved it. It was making, I connected with so many people. I got featured in, newspapers and stuff like that. It was all out of the blue for me. But then the whole conversation about, are you sure you're having fun? Why are you struggling so much? Why are you on your foot for about so many hours and things? And yeah.
So it's totally up to you. I mean, if you want to provide only breakfast and lunch, up to you. If you want to provide lunch and dinner, up to you. If you want to provide all 3 meals, all days, up to you, right? So see what works for you and what's fun for you. And also ask, rather than look at what can I delete from my life and remove from my life, ask, what can I add to my life? And allow different responses to show up. Don't get one response and say, this must be the right response, and stop with that. Keep asking, okay, what can I add to my life that could create greater for me? When COVID started, I had a bunch of online workshops coming up. I was so busy, I cannot tell you. My husband was busy and my son was busy too. And what is the question? Okay. Okay, I'll come to this question in a short while. So we were all extremely busy online, and there was nobody who could actually keep cooking and cleaning. So we did cook for a few days, but it was really very tiring because after cooking, the amount of cleaning that came up, the kitchen was a thorough mess, and there was a lot of work too, other than just the mopping and the sweeping of the house. And we just couldn't attend to all of that. So I called up this caterer who used to do home catering. I asked her, are you still supplying food? She said, you know what, I would love to, but I don't have my regular help coming in to help cook and clean and even deliver. So I'm not choosing this. I said, okay, sure. Let me know if you change your mind. And I put the phone down. And in a few days, she called me up and she said, hey, you know what? My husband is sitting at home. His brother is sitting at home. We are all just sitting and not doing anything, just watching TV. So my husband said, since anyway, your business is working and people are asking for it, let us all pitch in and help for that. And they all pitched in, and it was so much fun. It really eased up our life, definitely at home. We had home cooked meals, not cooked in our home, but their cooking was awesome too. And our family really benefited. I'm so grateful for that family. They delivered food for us for a few months, and it was just a huge contribution during our busy times. Okay. And at that same time, I heard of so many coaches and so many trainers who said, I'm twiddling my thumbs and sitting at home. I don't have anybody coming for sessions, neither online nor in person, and I don't have anything to do. I'm so bored. And I'm like, wow, don't have 5 minutes to speak. I'm so busy. So Shubhra has a question. It says, is business different from busyness? Yes, definitely. Sometimes we are super busy because of whatever reasons. So what if we could relook at why that person is so busy? And sometimes there is some hidden agenda to prove that they are busy, to prove that they are successful, which is why they become busy. So instead of being in business, they are actually doing busyness rather than business. Okay. So that is one of the things also we would be looking at and clearing all those cobwebs and myths. And in this webinar, we've been talking different topics and just exploring like the tip of each of these. This workshop has no prerequisites, and that's an amazing thing. People don't have to have done A, B, C, or don't even have to have a formal business to join this workshop. This is a workshop where we actually release your cobwebs, unmask whatever other myths you're dealing with and struggling with. What if you could have fun with business? Doesn't matter which business. If nothing else, what if you could have fun with the business of your life? Because that's one of the most important businesses each one of us actually has. And if we are not having fun with that business, then what's the point? What's the point in running like a multi-crore empire business and not having fun with the business of your life? So what if you could have ease with your business, no matter which business you choose? So thank you so much for all your questions. We might be able to take one last question in case anybody would like to say anything or ask anything.
Let us have a picture.
Sure.
Smile, please.
Let's do a picture together. Yes, we can do that.
Smile, please. Smile, please. Yes, thank you.
So much. Thank you all for joining in.